Hi, this is Steve Wilson. That ain't it, like CIS. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Topic I'm going to talk to you today about is Housewives Tea. In this episode of Housewives Tea, I'll be talking about Mia doing a podcast with her ex-boyfriend, Ink. Also, we'll be talking about Mia thinking about moving to Atlanta and might not be coming back to the Real Housewives of Potomac. Also, we're talking about Tamara Judge quitting Real Housewives of OC last month because her friend Terry Mellencamp was going through brain surgery and other stuff. Also, we'll be talking about the fallout between the Real Housewives of Atlanta between Brit Edy and also and also Keyna Moore and all the backlash and the responses from different cast members at episode 5. I also will be talking about Candace going to NBC Universal. Those are just some of the topics that I'll be talking about in this week's Celebrity Roundup. Like I said earlier last month, right after the reunion, right after Mia walked out the reunion, and a couple of days later, she was posted up. She was posted up saying that she had some surprising news, some exciting news, some surprising news. Next thing I know, she was talking about that she was gonna be moving to Atlanta, and she had some other exciting news. Next thing I know, she put out a little thing saying her and Ink was doing some kind of podcast and radio show together. And then about 3 weeks later, I think maybe a week and a half later, anyway, she said that she's thinking about moving to Atlanta. She wants to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She would like to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I was saying, they got enough trouble over there in Atlanta. Mia, they really don't need you over there in Atlanta. And so next thing I know, she said she don't know if she's coming back to the Real Housewives of Potomac. And this is what she said. Mia Thornton announces Real Housewives of Potomac exit, stepping back to ensure my family and I are in the best place possible. I think after Giselle and Wendy read her riot act about using her children, especially her little son. I think his name was Jemiah or something like that. I can't remember what his name was. And she was talking about paternity testing and all kind of stuff and stuff like that. She had a little bit more to say. I'm going to zoom this up. I'm going to zoom that up just a little bit more. Um, yeah, the writing is kind of small, but let me see if I can. I still can't read that. It's a peak writing, so I really can't really see that. But like I said, she did say she's doing it to focus on our family and stuff like that. And like I said, right, like I said, Tamara Judge said that she's leaving OC. She said Tamara Judge wants Tamara Judge with a message as the ladies caught filming on their first cast trip. It was a long one. When life gives you when life gives you real problem, this reality blank doesn't make sense. Peace out. I'm out. And that's why I said when she mentioned the part about real life and In reality, she's talking about her friend Terry Clapp, but that was last month. But they're saying she's doing much better now. She came back to she came back to her podcast with Tamara and stuff like that. So they say her health is moving on the up and up, and she's getting better. And like I said, on another note, with all this stuff, let me pause this video right quick, and I'll be right back. Like I said, on another note, right after the right after the right after the reunion of Potomac, I seen a lot of people seen it where Wendy was taking a picture with Candace and uh and uh Wendy said her and Candace were still friends even after Candace left the show, and both of them had on like uh like baseball cap hats, and they were together. And then next thing you know, a week later, Candace was doing interviews, doing an interview round, and one interviewer asked her a question and stuff like that. So I'm going to read it to you right now. It says, Candace Dillard Bassett dishes on if she's going back to the Real Housewives of Potomac. Karen Huger getting a year in jail for DWI and motherhood and cast meets. And she said, jail for DWI, motherhood, and other cats. She said she was sorry and she was shocked and surprised that all that happened to Karen, and she wished Karen as well. But she was saying, yeah, a DWI was a serious thing. She was just shocked like everybody else that Karen got jail time. And she said sometimes motherhood, I think I'm paraphrasing. She said sometimes motherhood could be abuse or something like that, but she really loved her little newborn baby. And she's trying to decide what career moves to make and stuff like that. And what would be in the best interest of her and her family and stuff like that. And then when I asked her about coming back to what's called, she said, well, she got a lot of things in the work. She got a lot of things in the works, and she don't know what the future might hold, but never say never. Update. Last week or week before last, Candace was talking about, ooh, I'm so happy to be back at my family. I'm so happy to be back at my family. She had took 2 or 3 pictures of her going to NBC Universal to talk things out, whatever. I kind of knew that they were going to try to either get Candace back, or people were saying maybe they should get Monique back. Uh, but I think a lot of people looking at Monique was so problematic. And if they were to get Monique back, who should be friends with, have an ally, because you know her and Giselle had fell out because of the situation with Jamal and season 5. So even if she was going to come back, and Karen was kind of Monique's friend too, so it's a lot of new people on there. So I think Bravo, along with the urging of Wendy, decided to see if Candace was in the mood, because I think they already knew from this season that Giselle could not hold that show by herself and stuff like that. And they knew that without Karen, they had to have some kind of new person to come in. So I'm kind of glad that for Candace. Also, like I said, this stuff that was going on with Kenya Moore after episode 5, but before episode 5, Kenya was saying that, talking about to see how the ratings was going down, and stuff like that, because she's not on there. And then she said some other stuff, but I'm going to pause the video and put up the right article clip to what Kenya said after episode 5. This is what she said. She said, with a message after tonight's episode, she said, love and appreciate you. You are so much last year. You cried with me. You cried with me. Production, and none of it was shown. I want to thank all of my friends who showed up for me and who supported me on a regular basis, who loved me down. Miss Lawrence, thank you for gracing us with your presence. You are a star. I hope I hope to turn our segment into a TV show, God willing. Special thanks to my event planner, Events by Monet, who always throws the most stunning events. Thank you to the gorgeous models who helped me make Keyna Moore haircut come to so iconic. And to the cast and crew of Rojas season 16, I wish you all an incredible season. To my friends and family, thank you for loving me, and all thank you to all of the stunning women who have partitioned that I love making you look beautiful. That was her statement after five and stuff like that about about how so many people helped her with the event. And the event came out pretty good and everything like that until she did what she did. And Brit Edy was also on a promotional tour after this episode. I'm gonna pause this and tell you what she said. I'm gonna read you what I wrote down. I wrote down some points that I took out from the Watch What Happens Live interview with Brit Edy, and also the one with Bravo Nightcap. Let me do the Bravo Nightcap first. She said some of the same stuff that she had been saying that Kenya didn't take accountability. Kenya was wrong for doing that, showing those nude photos and stuff of her and stuff like that. And she was saying Kenya did say that she apologized, but not to her. She apologized to the cast and everybody. She did a lot, but she didn't apologize to her. And the host asked her, would she ever be able to work with Kenya again? She said the only way she would work with Kenya again if Kenya gave her a public apology and Kenya said that she was sorry and mean that she was sorry and take accountability for it. But other than that, she wouldn't film with Kenya. And one more thing, she said on the nightcap. Oh, she said that she was surprised that the ladies didn't really support her. They more supported Kenya than her, and she was just so shocked and surprised by that. And she was saying that she felt like that none of the girls really wanted to go against Kenya, so that's why they took Kenya's side instead of her. That's what she said on the nightcap. Now, what happens live? She said kind of some of the same stuff, but then Andy asked her. He said, "Did you really have a gun on you?" She said, "No." Andy, I already apologized to Kenya. I tried to apologize to Kenya when we were filming the show, and she didn't accept my apology. She threw my flowers on the floor and everything. And he said, after we did an internal investigation, we found out that you didn't have no that you didn't have no gun on you, and stuff like that. So right after that, Andy was on his radio talk show and he got to talking with his host, and they were saying that that was shock and devastating what happened. They was trying to explain it. Andy was trying to explain it, and Andy was trying to say that nobody knew that Kenya was going to do that. Everybody was shocked and surprised, and everybody walked out. And and uh, Kenya said it wasn't revenge, Pete. And then that white guy said, well, since the Me Too movement, everything has changed. So things that you didn't think was not a part of something, probably a part of something. And then the woman said, even if it wasn't that, it was the SB word. And then Kenya got mad and said this, and this is what she said after that. So let me zoom this up too. She said, the two co-hosts are extremely ignorant. Sexual blank, SA is aura. Remember, that's what Fabian accused Candy of attempting to do to Portia. R RP. And if someone shows K Kim blank to you and blank to you, that is PR. I found that plus tons of other online stuff. She started a release for it, so it was a fair receipt warning. If you are not an attorney and familiar with Georgia law, then the STFU, sick of these biased and selective outrage, the comments should not have. Now, like I said, I didn't do any research on anything like that, but I'll talk about Keyna Moore's confessionals in another video. That's all I have for this celebrity. I mean, that's all I have for this Housewives Tea. This is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a TI is. I am